Hey guys, welcome back. We're doing some more of First Impression, and this time the first impression is about the game Star Trek Online. Again, this is one of the free downloadable games from the PlayStation Network. I don't think you have to have a PSN Plus account. So with that in mind, let's get to it. The first thing you'll do is set up your character, and it's a pretty cool selection screen. You've got a lot of choices you can make to customize your own character, which include everything from what species they are, whether it be human, Androian, not sure what the other one is, I'm not even going to pretend, and then of course Vulcan. So you can make them look very similar. Wow, that skirt's awful short. You can make them look like characters from the show, or you can make them look more like yourself. So you change everything about it, so far as whether their rank, their uniform type, facial color, so far as skin color, hairstyles. There's a whole mess of different things you can do here. Whether the uniform is worn tightly, that almost looks like Bones McCoy right there. Whether it's worn loosely, there's just so many different options here to customize your own individual player in this game. So we'll let you look at this for just a moment as we start moving along. So once you have your character looking the way you want him or her to look, then you have to go ahead to the next step, and that next step is going to be to give him or her their name. You can make any name you want, you just type it into the box. So in this case, you can probably tell, it looks a little bit like Captain Kirk. That's what I was shooting for. So I'm not going to name him Captain Kirk, I'm just going to twist everything around, and he's going to be Captain Tiberius, which anyone who's a fan of the Star Trek series knows Captain Kirk's full name is James Tiberius Kirk. So we're just going to put everything in a different order. So his first name will be Kirk. His middle name will be James, or J, so Kirk J. Tiberius. And as my name gives old school, I like old school Star Trek as well, so that's why we're going with the old 60s themed uniforms. Alright, so now that you have your character done, you're up on board deck of your starship, and it's your starship because you name it. And in this case, I went with the USS Alexandria because I'm also a big Walking Dead fan, and Alexandria, of course, for those of you that watch the show, know what Alexandria is. Once you're up there, you can explore a little bit. Right now, I'm messing with these buttons down here that teach you how to throw punches, and apparently you have some special powers. I'm sure you'll add to that as time goes by. looks like you have an L1 button that's some sort of a weapon, and then you also have the ability to resuscitate. Now, I'm sure that's going to come into play eventually here. As you roam around, any character who has that X right there with their name, you'll be able to interact with and speak to, but I want to check things out first. From a graphic standpoint, I can't say I'm overwhelmed by how great this looks. You can interact with things that allow you to sit down in the chairs. That's alright. In this case, you can't interact with this individual. There's no X there with his name. And again, that screen looks kind of hokey. There's nothing happening. At least make it motion. Alright, let's go talk to the captain and see what we have to do.
Lieutenant, we've located the wreckage of a crashed ship down there. I need to get boots on the ground, find out what's going on. Take a landing party down to the surface. Assess the situation and look for survivors. Not so fast. We can't use the transporters due to atmospheric interference. You'll need to take a shuttlecraft down. Use the sensors to locate a safe landing site.
Alright, now that we know what our mission is, let's get down to the engineering deck so that we can begin.
Ensign Tarsi, reporting for duty. The captain's asked me to make sure you get back in one piece, and I intend to do just that. Let's see. M-class planet. Barely. The Taurians are big, primitive, and quick to anger. I'd keep my phaser handy if I were you. Speaking of which, if you want to follow me to the armory, we can make sure your phaser is properly calibrated.
Okay, I'm gonna follow her.
Your mini-map shows you where your
Man, those skirts are short. I don't remember them being that short on the TV show.
Far away from your objective.
Alright, we're gonna get to mess with phasers. Okay, so this part's a little bit hokey right here. Usually your R2 will be your trigger. In this case, you have to use the triangle button. That's gonna take some getting used to. But it looks like different buttons may have different effects with your phaser, so I'm gonna have to mess with that a little bit more before I can tell you for sure.
Ensign Mears reporting as ordered. I'm ready when you are. Though I was one of the so-called Galileo 7, a science team sent to study the Murasaki effect. Our shuttle crashed on Taurus 2. Not all of us made it back to the Enterprise alive. Thank you. You can see why I'm reluctant to return to such a place. Yes, of course you're right, Lieutenant. I am a Starfleet officer, and I will perform my duties. You can count on me.
Alright, so that's pretty much the opening to the Star Trek Online game. I'm sure there'll be a lot more exciting stuff to bring you videos on in the future. Until then, just remember, old school's cool.